Welcome back drug users and Tesla abusers. Thank you guys for 2,000 subscribers, your support means a lot to me. Today I present an easy-to-use, aggressive deck for Fast Twins and SW3. This deck is so simple that ChatGPT could correctly predict the strategy and how the cards interact with each other. Also I guarantee this deck can work in any rank, including silver. To explain how it works I'm gonna go straight into a game. If you don't have the units unlocked yet like I do, you can do this trick here by quickly switching in between a deck with unlocked units and locked units. Alright, our first opponent is Bella. Unfortunately for Bella, she decided to open the game while I was online and now she will suffer the consequences. Anyways, the build order is pretty straightforward. You will always start with one archer, and one miner. In most cases, this one archer is the only one you will train for the entire match depending on whether your opponent has eclipsers or not. After your miners complete their first cycle you will train 2 swords, and make sure the third miner is set to gold. Now here comes the execution of the plan. I will apply aggressive pressure with my sword archer combo and try to delay my opponent's economy as much as possible.
Attack!
You can see as my first sword comes in, it forces Bella to either stand her ground or garrison her miners. If your opponent performs the latter, you should not let your swords die for no reason. Retreat and repeat this cycle of pressure to never let your opponent build up a solid economy. My opponent is smart, and they resign pretty early, predicting I will just hover outside castle archer range and repeatedly attack, while stacking up an army and increasing the economic disparity. That game was a perfect example of how this deck usually works. Hopefully this match is longer so I can better showcase the build. I'll add a checklist to help you remember the basics.
Attack!
Ideally one sword traded for one miner is a good trade, but unfortunately that miner survives with 1 horsepower. Unfortunately my attack has to end for now, because my opponent defends with an early spear and castle archer.
Attack the force! Forward! Forward! Attack!
The good thing about my early pressure though is that it convinced my opponent to make a second spear, which is good for me because it means his kitchen general will be delayed. Sometimes the best attack plan is to not attack at all. I should focus now on minor micro to boost my economy and train Xiphos and 1 Rip Rider. Now that my first Rip Rider is done training, I can engage my opponent's base without getting torn to pieces by the castle archers. You can see it is only the 3-minute mark, but I already have basically 100 population. My opponent likely at this point only has 50 to 60 population, meaning my army is twice the size as his. You can see the purpose of Xiphos now is his 25% training speed reduction to swords is very powerful in this deck. I'm going to continue to tickle my opponent a little bit to delay his economy, but once I reach 100 population there is no more need to delay my attack. When attacking, it is very important to make sure your swords stay behind your Ripper Riders to avoid receiving splash damage from castle archers. I also recommend user controlling Xiphos to make sure he doesn't run off ahead of your tanks. You should be only focusing your opponent's frontline tanks/heavy units with Xiphos because he will die very quickly if left exposed to archers. This game is already over now. My opponent literally only has 9 miners, 1 archer, and Kichu. I'm gonna have to wait for my next Ripper Rider though, then I will re-attack. As you can see, that was a fairly easy win. I mostly focused on training as much swords as possible and I completely overwhelmed my opponent by the 3rd minute mark. You might be thinking, what should I do if my opponent is not doing an archer start? And I'll show you now. Realistically though, the sword archer combo is the best in the game, and in the right hands it can beat anything.
Defend. Hold here. Forward. Hold.
2, 1. Four, 3, 2, 1. 1.